On the 30th of December 2021, the first ever 6-car standard gauge velocity ran on the North East Rail Line. The standard gauge velocity was introduced to replace the classic fleet currently running on the North East Rail Line. At the time of making this video, there were 2 3-car standard gauge velocities running on the line. The numbers are 93 and 94. 2 more sets will be ordered in future to replace the remaining of the classic fleet. Prior to the addition of these trains, a $235 million track upgrade was undertaken to allow these new trains to travel faster than ever before on this line. Of the classic fleet running at 115 kilometers an hour, these new trains will reach speeds of 130. Also, the classic fleet are over 40 years old and coming near retirement. Changes to the classic fleet and these new trains include: instead of walking through 4 doors in these new trains, you walk through a gangway, which the N-Class have, except they got 4 doors. There's no internal luggage spots on the classic fleet, and these new ones have internal luggage spots. And the seats are also less comfortable than the classic fleet, but they're still alright to sit on. The Velocity train was designed differently to all the originals, as it has to suit a long-haul journey 3 hours and 15 minutes away from Melbourne. These new Velocity trains have tray tables on all seats throughout the train, as well as USB ports on all seats. The trains will get a buffet car eventually, it just hasn't been made yet. At the time of making this video, the 2 services up and down this train runs is the 1209 Albury service and the 520 Melbourne service, operated by this train. These are the one of the up and down services from Albury. The others are run by the classic fleet.
Welcome on this service through to Albury. I'd just like to start by saying that this service was intended to have a first class, and then at the last moment they changed to this new train. So anyone that's carrying a first class ticket, this part can be refunded, not for the whole journey, but just for the upgrade of it. So just make a phone call on that 1-800 number. You should be able to sort out a partial refund for the first class component of your journey. So this is your service through to Albury. Our service will now run express through to Broadmeadows and through to Seymour, Admiral, Euroa, Violet Town, Benalla, Wangaratta, Springhurst, Chiltern, Wodonga and Albury. Expected arrival time is just before 4 o'clock. The installed facilities and drinking fountains located towards the centre of the carriages. Just regarding your luggage, please do not lock any doorways or walkways or other middle seats. Please make use of luggage racks provided at the end of each carriage and the overhead compartments. For sure they'll be passing through the carriages and swinging tickets or marking cards. If you have any questions or queries to ask at today's journey, I'm happy to try and answer them for you.
There's a general signal system and a safety gate mechanism with a crossing gate over there. Not exactly sure what it's for, but that's there.
This is a trip on the standard gauge Velocity that I did with Ethan on the 20th in the early May. Here we are pulling out of Southern Cross Platform 1, and you can see some Velocities and Marvel Stadium. There's also some Sprinters in the new refurbished colours. This will be a journey from Melbourne Southern Cross to Seymour.
Comment over there, 441.
Sorry for the added audio in the background. My friend Ethan likes to do his voiceovers live, and I like to do them later when it's more quieter. As you can see, as he said earlier, there's a comment just passing, a 6-car. Looks like an EDI. They're all the suburban lines. This is now passing the North Melbourne flyover with Southern Cross to the left and North Melbourne and all the electric lines and some regional lines to the right. Here we have here's the Melbourne Star, and we're going to go along the freight depot before it joins kind of later follows the Craigieburn line, but first we follow the freight depot.
construction going on here. Not exactly sure what for, but there is. Velocity 2 there. I go over a little level crossing here for the docks/yards.
Some end car carriages and said car at the back. This looks like a depot. There's some wheels. There's a cube train. And there's an NR class, and this now will be an interior tour. This is looking up at the top of the train. Sorry, I didn't take much footage inside the train. I just felt right not to take a lot of footage because the train was so packed. Like there was hardly any space to spare. This is the luggage rack, and that's my friend's bike. This is just passing Broadmeadows, and then this is the gangway. I was in the front car, and then that was the middle car to the right. This is looking out the other door, and this is like all the emergency displays and that. This is looking up the carriage, and then this is how you feel the seats. They're alright, they're not the best, but they do the job. This is the gangway surfing, modern day gangway surfing. As I said before, on an N class you step between 4 doors. On these new velocities you just walk between the gangway. It's much easier and more modern. Here we're looking out the door. You can see some scenery. This is out the right hand side door, and shortly we'll go outside the left. And straight ahead to my left, well, straight ahead, not really straight ahead, but just to the left is the toilet. That's the evacuation kind of thing. That's the gangway, and this is the other door. That's like a drinking tap and the luggage rack. And then here we have my favourite feature of the new train, the USB ports. It charges the phone so quick. Also, the tray tables make it feel like an aeroplane. Here is the cafe bar. It hasn't been constructed yet, but they'll be cool once it's installed. Now we see here's a G-Class, and this is other parts of the freight depot. There's an SSR, there's another N carriage that we just passed on the left. Looks like some service bay at the top, I'm not very sure. That's about it. There's some storage tracks, and there's another service kind of bay to the left. And then one on the right too.
Looks as though a G-Class. G531, yep.
Here's the Y class, and then maybe they look like some L classes, I'm not very sure. There's an N class behind there too. And then some more empty tracks. Here is the first stop this train stops at Broadmeadows. This is a train station on the Craigieburn line. And this train stops at Broadmeadows and Seymour, where this journey will end.
Velocity service. So if you
here is passing Craigieburn, and this is the next to see in the platform, and shortly we will see the depot. Up to the left is the Craigieburn depot, where all the comm engines are serviced, all the stages. Just up to the left now is the Craigieburn depot, the wash and all the servicing for the comm engine. Then we'll enter the regional line, and the next station that we'll pass will be Donnybrook. Here's Craigieburn. The depot's up here on the left.
Obviously, you're not going to show the right if it's on the left. You're not going to show the left if it's on the right, sir.
There are some comm engines up there.
Bro, this is so easy to make.
As we pass Craigieburn.
How do you get the money?
Here is Wallen. There's a sprinter sitting in the platform. 2-carriage sprinter. And we're heading on the standard gauge line as the broad gauge continues off to the left. We'll next pass Heathcote Junction very quickly, and the next station will be Kilmore East, I think.
And here's the station. Oh, there's a sprinter in the station.
Here is Kilmore East as we push past. I think we're doing about 130 kilometres now, which is the speed limit for these trains on this line. And this is Wandong, Tellerook, can't really remember.
Level crossing.
We are now pulling into Seymour. I hope you enjoyed the standard gauge velocity as much as I did. It's a nice step up to the classic fleet, whereas I still like the classic fleet for many reasons. The seats are more comfortable, feels nicer, they look nicer, but I'm happy with the velocities and USB ports. Now we'll see the train departing the Seymour station on its way to Albury. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed.